Gillingham, well, their problems at the other end of the table. Before this match, just 4 points clear of the bottom four. So Grimsby versus Gillingham then, commentary as usual from Martin Tyler.
Bob Cumming is Grimsby's leading scorer with 16 goals, but this afternoon he's chosen to fill in at left back because Kevin Moore, sent off at Chesterfield last Saturday, is suspended. But Dave Moore, the younger of the two brothers, returns to the side at right back in place of John Stone, who was taken ill this week. George Kerr has had to delve deep into the resources of his small squad to announce this team, and at number 9 Kevin Drinkle starts the game even though he's still troubled by a groin strain. It's a decision that allows another striker, Gary Little, more time to continue his rapid recovery from a broken leg. Gillingham recall Damien Richardson, the Republic of Ireland international, in their attack. Richardson hasn't in fact scored since this weekend a year ago, and he's still waiting for the one goal which will be his 100th for the club. After Gillingham's defeat at home to Chesterfield on Tuesday, their 7th game without a win, Jerry Summers has outlined his priorities as simply surviving in the 3rd division. And his team selection today reflects that philosophy, with 4 players bolstering the middle of the field. The amenities at traditional league grounds like Blundell Park have been called into question this week by Ted Croker, the Secretary of the Football Association. Parts of the stands here are 100 years old, and as Grimsby Town build a team for the future, the club is well aware that it must make similar progress in catering for spectators. Today's referee is David Richardson from Great Harwood, who in a fortnight's time takes charge of the Football League Cup final at Wembley. So the 3rd division leaders kick off, playing from right to left in the black and white stripes. Gillingham today in a chain strip of all yellow. Grimsby has won 4 out of their last 5 games against Gillingham, who've won only 1 in the last 14. Nigel Batch quickly off his line in the Grimsby goal. Gillingham were in fact second favourites at the start of the season for promotion. Really have had a disappointing time, to the surprise of a lot of people in football. Here's Ken Price for them. To Richardson. This is John Crabb. Cumming, who's no stranger to the defensive role, and of course has been scoring so many important goals from the middle of the field for Grimsby. Cross from Sharp. Turned behind for the first corner of the game. Driven cross from the Gillingham skipper. And it brings the corner. Billy Hughes to take it. Cumming gets it out. There's Hughes again. Be interesting to see how Grimsby react to this slightly reshuffled lineup. But apart from the skill in this side, which has been exhibited throughout the season, there's a great deal of resilience and strength of character as well. They held on to win at Chesterfield when they were down to 10 men for the last half hour last Saturday. Here's Tony Ford, who's down to use his speed. Gilmore and Drinkle are in the middle. Sharp pushing behind. He has paced Tony Ford, and he had a chance to use it then. the merest of contacts, and Hilliard couldn't scramble it out. So Grimsby get the start they were looking for, and Gillingham, whose recent form has been so dispiriting for them, concede an early goal that they must have dreaded. George Kerr, the Grimsby manager, on the left of the bench as we look. David Booth, his assistant, next to him doing the pointing. Richardson guiding it on. It was Waters who met it for Grimsby, and Duncan with a shooting chance. Colin Duncan, who is Gillingham's latest acquisition from Oxford United at the end of January. Still looking for his first goal for his new club. It's an opportunity that came his way after Richardson had got a good flick on. Waters with the first header, and then Cumming could only get it down for Duncan, who flashed the shot wide. It's Billy Hughes, who's got a cut eye, who's had to go off for some temporary repairs. Gillingham for the moment down to 10 men. Drinkle. Lovely. Wigginton playing it without really looking. Price anticipating just that sort of move. It was nearly a dangerous moment for Grimsby. Nicely on from Ford, then from Drinkle. Steve Bruce, who play in the centre of the defence as well as in midfield. Played in the centre of the defence against Chesterfield on Tuesday, but has been moved forward today. Price turning sweetly away from Crombie. Again, there's no real help arriving for him. Dave Moore wins it cleanly. Mitchell. That's an 8-4 check. Waters takes over. Trying to find Kilmore, who's watched closely by Weatherly. Brolly. Brolly picking away through. Moore. 4-4. Promising for Grimsby. Right across the face of the goal without the finishing touch from Tony Ford. Moore waiting until Ford timed his run. Let's see how dangerous ball it was. And Hilliard groping. So Gillingham get their full complement back. You can see the patch above Billy Hughes' right eye. Overton. Barker's header. Waters was late into the back of Brown. Overton with the free kick. Hughes jumping. Touched forward by Brolly. Overton gives it back to Waters, and Drinkle is onside. Kilmore up. So too was Brolly. Here's Mitchell. Now coming. 20 men forward for Grimsby. Kilmore. All coming again. Just a little too tight for them. Ken Price leads Gillingham's counter charge. Feet were high. First one coming. Dave Moore. Referee playing the advantage for a foul on Kilmore. Richardson. Mitchell taking the sting out of a scrappy piece of play in the middle of the field. Jump by Drinkle. Mitchell allowed to go on as again the referee plays the advantage. Pushing forward to get inside. To play the ball inside the fullback rather for forward to collect. Forward wanted it played to his feet. Sharp with the throw. Duncan trying to get behind Ford. He may have succeeded. Ford gets back to concede the corner. For which Gillingham bring forward Overton and Weatherly. Crab will curl it in with his left foot. Strongly by Batch. Ford breaks forward for Grimsby. Here's Crab. And Price couldn't get any power into the best effort really from Gillingham in this first half. And they responded quickly after Ford had in fact given the ball away. Crab drove it in and Price couldn't really connect. After taking his eye off the ball. Brolly's pass there. Really a delightful touch. Coming right at the end of the first half in which Grimsby go off leading by a goal to nil. Perhaps not totally satisfied with their performance. Kevin Drinkle, who just distracted goalkeeper Ron Hilliard to give Grimsby such a good start, perhaps not playing at their best since then, but so far so good for the third division leaders. Grimsby Town 1, Gillingham 0. Welcome back to Blundell Park. Gillingham starting the second half, still looking in fact for their first ever league victory on this ground. And they trail at half-time by the one goal scored by Kevin Drinkle in the 7th minute. Here's Drinkle, this time with a back pass. One wonders with this groin strain how long he'll stay on in the second half. He climbs well there to find Kilmore. It's been flashes in the first 45 minutes of the true Grimsby style. The passing at times suffered perhaps a little from the firmness of the ground. This pitch has been very wet through the winter months. The players were saying before the game that it was the driest they'd seen it for quite a while. It hasn't always bounced true for them. Ford. Drinkle threw himself at it and then found the ball just hit too long. Kevin Drinkle's power in the air has been particularly important in recent matches. He struck a vein of goal scoring and he wasn't too far away then. Kilmore coming off the near post and Brolly! How did that stay out? It's a corner. Mike Brolly may have been trying to control it and nearly ended up scoring on the long throw that totally unsettled Gillingham. And there's Brolly, and that's how close he came. The long throw. Again, Grimsby doing well in the air. Sharp has to turn. That came off Crombie. for the corner to Gillingham. Certainly in no position to relax yet in this game, Grimsby Town. Grabs corner, and that was Bruce. That was so close. As Batch complains. One of those teasing corners that John Pratt has put over several times in this match. And Steve Bruce climbing better than Mitchell, who was standing with him, and it drops just over the top. Batch rather slicing the clearance. Sharp. Duncan, who's got pace and aggression, and he's being allowed to run, and he's left it for Hughes. And deserved a better finish. Colin Duncan with a real show of enterprise, and Grimsby couldn't get a tackle in. Duncan slightly overrunning it. He could have taken it on himself, but he saw that Hughes was there, and Hughes was wasteful. Strongly. There's Richardson. Duncan right in there. It's off the bar. And put away by Crombie, and what a let off for Grimsby. Colin Duncan, the unlucky Gillingham player, with a crisp header. Batch was caught by the run in front of him, and it came out of the crossbar. As if the warning signs weren't there before. A reminder for Grimsby. Hughes with the corner. Deep towards Bruce, and then with the post. Now Price, and he's saved it. Nigel Batch reacting quickly. And Gillingham finding nothing going for a side who have been struggling so much in recent weeks. Bruce, and that might yet come for Ken Price. Raleigh, and now Kilmore. Here's Ford, running it straight at Barker. Here's Crab. Richardson offside. But really, what a remarkable series of events around Nigel Batch's goal. After Duncan had already hit the bar, from the corner, Steve Bruce with a header that rocketed off the post, and here's Price firing it back for Batch to pour to safety. Sean Moore stripped off, ready to come on, the substitute. Hughes. Price, here's Duncan. Back for Bruce. Played for Sharp. And into the midriff of Nigel Batch. As again the neatness in the Gillingham build-up. Finds a way through. Nice touch play. Bruce, an intelligent little ball there. To give a better shooting chance for Sharp. Kevin Kilmore who's coming off as Grimsby make their substitution. Sean Moore, of the Moors here at Grimsby, but this one's spelled M-A-W-E-R, comes onto the right hand side of Grimsby's midfield, enabling Ford to push forward in Kilmore's place. Ford in his more advanced role, beaten in the air by Weatherly. Grimsby have the throw. Coming back to Brolly. Space ahead of Bob Cumming. Ford, now Cumming is caught, needing cover. But Crombie he was across. And anyway, Price had gone offside. Ken Price, who cost Gillingham only £2,000 from Southend, would be worth more than £100,000 now in today's market prices. Hughes. Wigginton. Here's Drinkle. For Sean Moore. Moore making a break. Beaten by Barker. Price. The substitute is down injured. It looks like the right knee. Bats being urged to put it out by players and crowd alike. And he finds what in rugby parlance might be called a good touch, which enables the anxiety transmitting itself to the Grimsby town management. George Kerr has been up on his feet, passing on what he wants from them in the next quarter of an hour or so, and they're still down to 10 men. Here's Brolly. Free kick to Grimsby. Brolly touch. And Sean Moore still in some pain. And Brolly is the latest victim of a match which has not been dirty at all. But no quarter has been asked or given in the tackles. And Grimsby, with this small squad, desperately need to keep players fit for the run-in. Waters fighting it in, and Hilliard again. Although being fouled, not going for the cross with any conviction. The pressure from Drinkle. Really floated forward by Waters. Just watch the goalkeeper, who had an eye on the man coming in, who was Drinkle. And it's strapping being applied to Sean Moore's right knee. Drinkle, who wasn't 100% fit before the game started, so wonders how he's coping in these final few minutes. Brolly's limping. Sharp. There's Mitchell. There's a cool head. A cool flick from Waters. Drinkle stabbing it forward, and he got a bang as well. Play goes on past him. Gillingham must really sense an opportunity now. John Sharp, bitterly disappointed with his cross. But the cheers go up because Sean Moore has come back onto the field. Plainly all is not right with him, but he's going to lend what help he can. Well, one's really got to admire the courage of Sean Moore, but whether long-term damage will result from him staying on, only time will tell. Price is offside. Jerry Summers calling for more effort, but it's been so frustrating for him this afternoon. The woodwork having been hit by his side twice. Drinkle running willingly up front, but it's cut out by Overton. Wally nicks it back. Prepared to take men on. And nicely guided down by Drinkle for Ford. Drinkle again going in, and Waters! It's wide. When that could have finished it. up. A delicious little touch there from Kevin Drinkle, and Ford returning the compliment with a deep cross. Drinkle knocked it down, and Waters stretching volleyed just wide. Richardson was making something there. Out from Mitchell. Steep ball forward from Hughes. Here's Damien Richardson, who was offside. And he cannot believe it. He's a player with a highly sophisticated sense of humour, Damien Richardson, but he couldn't see the funny side of that. Nigel Batch has been penalised for taking too many steps, and so Grimsby face a crisis of their own making. Hughes clips it in, and up goes Weatherly, but the whistle is gone. The goal doesn't count. The referee hadn't signalled for the free kick to be taken. Mark Weatherly put it in. And it's Blackwood Hughes again. What drama. So Hughes again. Weatherly again poised for his run. This time Duncan's shot is blocked. Barker as Grimsby push out. The ball drops into Batch's arms. Well, who'd be a football manager? George Kerr, at least his side are winning, and Jerry Summers on the Gillingham bench has seen all sorts of frustrations. And frustrations that end with Grimsby Town hanging on, showing their character and ability to withstand problems, and they were reduced really to 10 effective players. Sean Moore there with that strapping around his right knee. But it's a win that keeps Grimsby Town at the top of the third division. Sean Moore carried off, and George Kerr goes into the dressing room really to count the cost of the victory by the solitary goal that came early from Kevin Drinkle. Final score at Blundell Park: Grimsby Town 1, Gillingham 0.
So Grimsby Town then perhaps just a little bit fortunate to collect both points from that game, but the league table doesn't show that. The league table now shows that Grimsby are out in front, clear on their own, and that of course, as far as they're concerned, is the important thing. We'll take a look at the top of the Division 3 table in just a few minutes, but after the game I spoke with a fairly relieved Grimsby Town manager, George Kerr. George, you seem to have less hair than you did before the match when we were chatting. You must have aged a bit in the last few minutes of that game, I would think.
Yeah, well, I've been losing it since I was age 29, so I can't blame that game for it. But you know, at the end, the result was the right result for us, and the right result for the people of Grimsby. And really, that's my answer to everybody who thought it was a poor game.
It is a result that counts, of course, obviously in your position. But what about that last-minute free kick of Gillingham's?
Well, you know, our goalkeeper probably took too long to get rid of the ball, and he was penalised by the referee, which was fair enough. They put it in the net as it happens from the first free kick, but luckily enough something happened to prevent them getting the goal, and you know, we cleared the resultant free kick. So that's how it goes sometimes.
You must feel a bit though for your opposite number, I would think, Jerry Summers.
Yeah, I do, because I don't care what anybody says. Gillingham are one of the better footballing sides in the division, which is proved really by their